Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. Listen, my heart is a little bit more full today because, Tressa, you're back in the state where I live, and I
I
get to see you so soon.
am.
And
It's cold here, and
it
I don't
is.
like that, but I'm so happy to be in the state of Jeni. That's
I
what it
know,
is now.
right? It's,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's great. It's great. And we have so many fun things happening this summer. We have so many conferences that we're going to talk about when we're closer
Yes.
to them that we're going to see everybody at. It's going to be
I
great.
can't wait.
I know. It's going to be so great. It's going to be the funnest ever. So let's talk about our guest tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's.
Tressa, by the way.
I'm Jeni. I forgot about that. Hey, remember that time that I introduced myself as Jenna? That's not my name. My name is Jeni.
That's funny because my dad kept calling you Jenna, but that's fine.
Well, maybe he listened to that one and now it's permanently cemented.
That's not unlikely.
Yeah, I really got to watch out for that. So, our guest tonight, Jason Kenzie, is an author, director, and animal photojournalist who has traveled the world immortalizing all kinds of people and their exotic wildlife companions. He also has a documentary series titled Searching for Sasquatch. So, yes, it's a Bigfoot episode tonight, everybody. I'm
Oh,
so excited.
what?
That's another reason I'm so excited. So the Searching for Sasquatch series streams worldwide on platforms like Tubi, Amazon Prime Video, and Plex TV. He has been investigating the lore of Bigfoot and other cryptids since 2019, so he is relatively new in the field, which I'm thrilled about. With only a camera and a flashlight, Jason jumps headfirst into the darkness, determined to solve the mystery of Bigfoot. So, Tressa, won't you help me welcome
Uh-huh.
Jason Kenzie?
Yay.
Hello,
Hello, hello.
yes, Jenna. I mean, Jenny.
Hey, it's going to be cemented in everybody's minds from here on out. I'm going to have to wear a
Exactly.
name
Oh,
tag.
Jenna, shush.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on, man.
it'd be your new name,
Mm-hmm.
your sidekick name.
Oh, it could be a good psychic name.
Well, I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we're so excited to have you. First of all, I got to ask about the photography because I've seen some of it on your social media and I very much like it. But what is this exotic animal companion? Like you go and you take pictures of people and their exotic pets? Or what happened there?
So, yeah, so I've been doing this for about 20 years, over 20 years,
Wow.
just traveling. It started with people hiring me to film their tigers and their grizzly bears and their kangaroos, monkeys, everything in between. And I love hearing the stories that people have for their pets and cats. And then one day I got
Real
hired to
quick,
do.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. Can you turn the ringer off your phone?
Oh,
And then we want to hear about the rest of the monkeys and the. I want to hear about all of these things.
Yeah.
there you go.
Thank you. So please
Yeah. So
continue.
yeah. So then people would just want to tell me their stories about their pets, and I was very excited uh, to hear all the excitement. Like, why did you have 5 wolves as pets?
That is
And
a great question.
That is a
so,
very good
so I have
question.
a motto. If I'm going to interview you and photograph your pet, doesn't matter if it's a dog or cat or a 300-pound tiger, no cages. I have to be able to
Oh.
hug the animal.
Uh,
And so a lot of times the tigers or the bears would literally be like in the living room.
uh,
They would have a doggy door that was big enough for the tiger to go in and out of their place.
that sounds like a garage door.
That
So
seems wild.
after filming and photographing the grizzly bear, obviously I spent the night, and here we are watching TV, and my legs are on the back of the grizzly bear,
That seems
All
like
right.
a
resting
good
on the
place
First
for your
of
back
all,
legs.
like it was a living rug, like for
first of
real.
all, we say obviously I spent the night because I don't think that part is the obvious
No.
thing. I
No.
mean,
Well,
were
because I would
these?
fly, because I live in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
So I would fly to places like Texas, or I would fly to Missouri. I would fly all over. So I wouldn't just go there for like, especially if I fly all the way over there, I go and I spend the night,
Hmm.
right? They buy the plane ticket and then I go and I do the photo shoot and then I spend the night and then
Yeah.
I'll either have them, have them purchase a ticket so I can spend like a couple days there afterwards, just look around.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, and then here in Canada, right? So there, when I first started, people were allowed to have certain animals, like a guy with two 10-foot alligators as pets,
Oh.
right?
These all seem like dangerous choices for pets.
Yeah,
They
well, the
seem-
alligators
yeah.
were so friendly to him, but wanted me to be a snack
Yeah.
to me. So I
Yeah.
wasn't able to like get too close to the alligators.
No hugging
No.
distance there.
No.
No, no hugging it. No, at least I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all there.
All there.
Oh.
Okay. I
Oh,
feel like
6?
you'd be
I
missing
don't
more
know.
than a finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
feel-
Vancouver Island. There's a lady that has monkeys
Mhm.
and have lemurs.
Mm.
So originally I went over there to film the monkeys,
Yeah.
and so I take the ferry over to, it's like almost a 2-hour ferry ride over to the island, and I get all the way over there, and I go walking up, and I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to like hold the monkey. She's like, oh no, you can't hold the monkey. No, they want to eat you.
Oh,
Too dangerous.
lemurs?
And I was like, what? I come all this way and they're behind cages.
I want to hold monkeys.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your problem, woman?
What
I
kind of
know. Like,
monkeys?
give me the monkey to hold. Okay.
What kind
I
of
need to love
monkeys
on
are
a
like?
monkey.
All these bananas, and now what am I going to do? I'm going to have to eat them myself. So she's like, well,
I don't even like bananas.
Yeah, exactly. I just squish them into so they look like an apple. But then she turns to me and says, well, you can go in with the lemurs. I was like, what? You have lemurs? Forget the monkeys. How am
Yeah.
I ever going to have a chance to play with lemurs?
Yeah.
And sure, went into the cage and was playing with all these lemurs. I would put berries in my mouth and they would come up and tear my nose off.
That's
No,
a
just
nice
kidding. No, they would just
prosthetic.
come up and just eat the berry out of my mouth. And I didn't get any like diseases from them at all. Nothing. It's always
Wow, that's a stroke of luck.
Oh
Saskatchewan.
boy.
The lady had 5 wolves as pets.
That's
So presumably
wild.
these animals like had plenty of room. If they're flying in photographers, they have like great care, and it's
Yes.
not like somebody's
yes.
garage.
No, they didn't have it stuffed in a little box. No, they
Yeah.
have the whole
The
their
whole
whole
thing just getting
backyard.
how neat.
The wolves had like I think 5 acres. The one-
Wow.
You gotta
Oh, that's
have 5
amazing.
acres for like an acre wolf. Everybody knows that.
Yes, everybody knows. It's common knowledge.
Of course. Of course. And you know that the leather jacket that you see that I wear in my documentaries? So that leather jacket is 50
Was
years
given
old.
to you by wolves.
No,
Oh.
made out of wolf. No, just kidding.
Oh,
No, but
Oh.
it was about
Oh, no.
40. It was about 40 or 50 years old. Like it's such an old coat. And one of the wolves actually attacked me, and I put my arm up, and it grabbed hold of my arm before the owner came and pushed the wolf off of me. And I was upset because I thought that my coat was ripped apart.
Yeah.
But there was literally not even a scratch on the leather jacket. I was
That
so
wolf
shocked.
seems
It did bite me on the pinky though.
Yeah.
It was, I lost my nail. Yeah, that was tragic.
I don't need. Nope.
But yeah, there's always dangers in everything. And,
Yeah,
and,
of course.
but I've
Well,
learned a
especially-
lot about animals,
Yeah.
and I learn it from the people who are around these animals, and they tell me like interesting facts about their animals, stuff that some people don't even know. Like, did you know a polar bear's fur is actually clear? Like
Yeah.
it's see-through. It's not white. It's see-through.
That's amazing.
Everyone thinks a polar bear is white, but it's not really white. It's
Somebody owned a polar bear? That's like the most vicious bear on earth.
oh, I know. So I wasn't able to get close to the polar bear.
Oh, you're just
The
like,
polar bear was way too dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just interesting facts. And so I've learned going into the wild and going and taking photos of the wild animals in the forests and the mountains. Yeah, you really learn a lot about the traits of how animals act in the forest.
these
Now,
people that have the more dangerous animals, did they like raise them from birth? Because I can't imagine the animal
Exactly.
being
Yeah.
they just
instinctually
befriended.
like,
Yeah,
"It's
they
fine."
just
You have
befriended
to
a couple
raise it from
crocodiles
birth.
in the wild.
Yeah, you have
Come
to
on,
raise it
guys.
from birth. I mean, I know guys who have alligators that are so friendly, it's crazy. And they raise them
That's
from
cute.
a little tiny thing. And these gators are just not just friendly to him, but they're friendly to other people too. And it's really nerve wracking, right? Because it takes that one
Really?
time, that one
Yeah.
time. And,
I I have I love sharks, right? I absolutely adore
Oh,
sharks.
God.
There is not a second that I'm in the water with a shark and I go, you know what, this guy seems cool. I'm just going to go ahead and like relax and play around with him, right? Because 400 million years ago, evolution was like, hey, we made this killing machine and it's perfect. Hands off now, guys.
yeah,
And the
exactly.
same thing with like crocodiles and alligators. I mean, they are so old. Like 200 million years old, I think.
Yeah,
Like
they were around during the dinosaurs for sure.
yeah, like where evolution was just like, all right, guys, nailed it, killing machine. I don't know
Sharks
that
are
I'm gonna
one
have
of the
those as pets.
sharks are one of the only animals that survived
Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
know.
ice age and everything.
And the second oldest, the crocodile, like of these
Well, you know
immaculate
what? It's
killing
a great
things.
thing that great whites never mated with walking fish, because that would be terrible.
It's
Actually, imagine
just a
you're
guy
like,
walking
excuse
around.
me, my girlfriend, she was attacked by a shark, and she's no, we're not in the water. No, Duncan came up onto the sand, grabbed her, and
We
pulled her
were
in. It
at
was crazy
lunch.
to see. Had bigger feet than I did. Yeah, I don't.
You never heard a land shark? Come on.
We were just eating. She had soup and then she was gone.
We were eating some bananas and some apples.
And me though, I hate bananas.
bananas.
Now she's gone. Now I'm stuck with a basket full of food. She's a vegan, and I don't eat carrots. Yeah.
I hate quinoa. It upsets my stomach.
Oh my god, this is just going to be a giant list of foods that you guys don't like.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Quinoa, brown rice.
Yeah.
Oh, worse.
Yeah.
Gross. Tofu, can we get more bland? Get out of here. You guys go
Good
now.
protein though. Just
Yeah.
kind of blah, but good protein.
Now listen, to guide us back to something. So is this how you ended up thinking about looking for Bigfoot? Did the wildlife stuff translate over into that?
So when COVID hit and we all got shut down, I wasn't able to do so. I had started a web series back then called My Animal Adventures.
Okay.
And I have 400 videos on YouTube of behind the scenes of these animal adventures, these photo shoots I would go on. Because some people didn't believe that I was like photographing someone that had a caiman in his bathtub. So I would take a video camera and I would film what I was doing so people would be able to see the fun that I would have. And then when COVID hit, we all got shut down. I was driving myself crazy. I wasn't able to travel. I wasn't able to do anything. And I'm pacing. I'm like, I need to find something. And one of my friends said, well, why don't you just do Sasquatch? I live only an hour and a half, not even, like an hour and 20 minutes from Harrison Hot Springs, the epicenter of Bigfoot. And so I'm a skeptic. So I thought, well, maybe Sasquatch, if they're real, is like an animal. So I went to interview someone and they told me their story. And then I took my video camera, interviewed them. They pointed me to someone else. And then I went and talked to the First Nations people. And in turn, they sent me to an area where I went deep into the wilderness and found hundreds of these giant tracks, these feet in this lake in the middle of the mountains. And I took a drone and I droned the lake, and you could see all these footprints going through. They're not shoes. They're actually, you could see the toes.
Yeah.
And I'm on land, you could still see. So then after I did that, I interviewed a bunch more First Nations, showed them the footage, and they said that I had found the migration path of the Sasquatch people from Alaska all the way to California. And
How old are these tracks? Are these like,
Yeah.
it's just there? It's,
Yeah.
I know what I mean.
So there's like, they're basically the water. The tracks must have been made before the water. There must have been some kind of a drought where the water was down. Whatever whatever they were that went through the lake, it must have filled up, and it just like cemented the feet in this lake. And the lake wasn't all that big. It was maybe, I don't know, 1,000 feet across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say 1,000 meters in diameter. No, that's too big. It was smaller than that, but you could still, if I was a swim, I could probably swim to the other side in 20 minutes
Okay.
on one side, and then the other side maybe 21 minutes. It was a little bit longer.
So it was
let me tell you.
oval shaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really clear. And so
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
So are you saying that it could have been fossilized is not the right word, but
no. Well, I don't know. I don't think
like
it's
that
fossilized.
old,
It was in the mud.
So it was like imprinted in some mud, and not necessarily like.
And if you saw the picture, I took video, but I also took pictures of it, and you could see clearly that there is footprints going right through the lake, like tons of them. And
Listen,
so that was exciting. So when I
want to hear
posted,
some more. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about this migration, but we need to take a break real quick.
Oh, okay.
The Oregon Bigfoot Festival and Beyond is back and bigger than ever at Oaks Amusement Park, Saturday, June 29th. Meet Bigfoot hunters like Ronnie LeBlanc of Discovery Channel's Expedition Bigfoot and Paranormal Caught on Camera, and paranormal investigators like me, Dave Schrader of the Holzer Files and the Paranormal 60 podcast. Join us for a day of family fun celebrating Bigfoot, ghosts, UFOs, and everything beyond. You never know what you'll find. Don't miss the Oregon Bigfoot Festival and Beyond, Saturday, June 29th at Oaks Amusement Park. Get tickets today at OregonBigfootFest.com. OregonBigfootFest.com.
The Oregon Bigfoot Festival. Oregon Bigfoot Festival.
Listen, I'm so excited for that. I can't even.
Yeah, you're gonna make me go camping right after.
Oh,
that.
yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
I wish I could go there. That would be fun.
You gotta go. You gotta
go.
Gotta go to these cons. They're the most fun. It's
Yeah, I'm
just
going to a
best
few of them.
people.
Yeah.
There's one in Oregon also.
Yeah. I feel like there's several.
Yeah, there's gotta be, right?
There's got to be one a month there, you know?
I'm going to be speaking at Sasquatch Summerfest
Where's that?
Sweet.
in Oregon. It's
Oh,
I think it's close to it's past Portland. I don't even know but you can actually find, if you just Google that, you'll find. And I'll be speaking there, and then we get to go out afterwards on an expedition. I'm going to film a new Searching for Sasquatch documentary on the whole thing, the whole event. We're actually going to go to an area where those Bigfoot sounds were caught. The Sahara sounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Sierra Sounds. Yeah.
so tell us about this migration path.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly, the Sasquatch people, they go where the food goes, obviously, where the animals roam, like all animals. And we know from millions of years ago, we know that man used to just follow the migration of the animals. So when it gets cold here, they migrate down to where it's warmer. And then when it gets way too hot, then they come up to here and and up to Alaska,
Mhm.
right? Just basically following the herds of animals that go up and down. I mean, this is all theory,
Yeah,
but it does make sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
absolutely.
I mean,
But it's
I
also not
really-
something that I've ever particularly thought about
Yeah,
either.
no, me
you know?
neither.
Yeah. It's weird. We sometimes get on these guests and they say these things that even though I have loved lore and cryptids forever, it's just stuff that you hear it and you go, "Oh, that makes total sense," but you've never thought about it before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
every time.
And I don't know how many times I've interviewed eyewitnesses who talked about like berry picking, and a Sasquatch would come walking up, or that they go behind blueberry bushes or bearberries or the salmon berries, where they see these creatures eating the berries.
Which actually also makes sense because isn't that I mean, I'm pretty sure that was a children's book at some point where like a kid was picking blueberries and ran into a bear, but isn't that like a common place to encounter bears in the wild?
Yes.
Is out.
Makes you wonder if they fight, if the bears and the Sasquatches fight each other over,
Berries.
the berries. Because when you drive from here to Alaska, or even up to the into up northern in Canada, in August, there is just blueberries along the highway,
Mhm.
and then you see all the bears, the grizzlies, the black bears, all just along the highway, eating these blueberries.
Now I'm just
I remember
picturing.
I drove up to Alaska and I was driving along the highway and I kept seeing these bears. Then I realized they're eating the blueberries. And
Yeah.
I love blueberries.
I do
did-
too.
So I drove up the highway where I didn't see any bears and I pulled over and I ran out and I'm like, I'm just, my mouth, I wasn't even like trying to like,
Savor
make
Right.
it simple. I was
shovel.
like blueberry by the time because I didn't want to get eaten by a bear. So I'm like,
Well, yeah. Other tourists were driving by like,
they
look at that
probably thought I
blonde
was a
bear.
naked Bigfoot.
It's a wild
God, and
man.
he's so short and he's naked and much uglier than what I thought.
I would fight a bear for
Oh.
some blueberries.
I would not.
I totally would.
I would
Totally
too.
would.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I challenge him to a good old arm wrestling.
Jenny and I, we would be like there eating the blueberries. The bear would come out,
exactly
and
like
I'd be like, oh my gosh, a bear! Sorry, Jenny.
I just have to run faster than you.
Yeah.
Well, I have to let you know,
Tripping
I am
always
a
helps.
pretty slow runner, so you're pretty safe.
Yeah. I have to let you know that I fight dirty, so I will trip you.
Yeah, I'm making a note now. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep, you'll never see it coming.
if you always go bear eating, always ask Jenny not to come.
So you've made 10 of these, and I've seen a couple of them, of these searching for
13.
Sasquatch.
They're actually 13.
13.
13.
They're
Okay.
13. And 2 are paranormal.
Okay. Now you have the ones that are out, because I know that you have a couple coming out that we'll get to in a second. But they're sort of divided up, well, at least a couple of them that I saw were divided up like by state. Right? Is that how they all are, or
So 3 and 4
Mhm.
is Michigan.
okay.
And so when I did 3 and 4, I was going to do, it was just supposed to be Searching for Sasquatch 3, part 1 and part 2. And that's what I was hoping, but Tubi didn't allow that. They
Okay.
came back and they said, nope, you have to make it 3 and 4. You can't do part 1, part 2. So I had no choice. So out of all my Searching for Sasquatch documentaries, you can watch them. You don't have to watch them in order, except for maybe 3 and 4, because I caught talking, what, in,
Oh.
on audio. I think that was the first time I ever saw this giant thing go through in front of me, looking like a giant spider.
Whoa.
My-
Okay. Hold,
yeah,
please.
back up. What? This is a first for me. Tell
This
me
is-
all about
we're
a
gonna-
giant spider, and I
We're gonna
hate
need
it.
into this
Well, it
story.
looked like a giant. It crawled across in front of me, maybe about 20 feet, maybe not even. And it was dark.
Jeni,
It was really dark, and it
that
just
sounds
came.
like what you heard.
I
mean,
know.
And then as it so okay, let me move back and I'll tell you the story. I was with another Bigfoot researcher. He had left the audio earlier that day. It was maybe a 25-minute walk, and he wanted to go retrieve it. So he comes out and he says, "Okay, I want to go retrieve my audio. It's now like 11 o'clock at night. Do you want to go?" And I jump up and said, "Yeah, let's do it." The first person he asked said, "No, I'm not going in. I'm too scared." So,
fair.
and then I jumped up and said, "I'll go." And I brought my camera. And the whole time I was there, before we started, like we were there for a few days before, and I was learning. It was one of my first Bigfoot expeditions with a group of Bigfoot explorers, and they were teaching me about how they believe that the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot will walk up and they'll break a twig and twist it. So they'll take a twig as thick as my finger long, like a branch, and as they walk through the forest, they'll grab a twig and twist and break. So it isn't just a break; it's actually twisted and
But why
broken,
though?
Yeah.
right? And
Why?
they were showing me them. They'd be all
Why-
like 6 feet off the ground, 7 feet off the ground, like hanging. Like there would be branches. Some of them would be as big as my finger or as small as my finger, and then some would be as my wrist, which is still quite small, believe it or not. But and so here we are. We're walking through the forest, and I was filming all the tree breaks on either side of the trail.
Is it
filming
like a
all-
trail marker? Is it a trail
No,
marker? Why?
no,
Why?
No,
why
it was
are they breaking?
so it was a decommissioned logging road that hadn't
Okay.
been used for I swear like 10 years.
Okay.
Like it was completely sealed off. It took us from Camp 1 to get to Camp 2. It took about almost an hour by off-road with trucks to
Yeah.
go to where we end up camping.
My question is why are they doing that though? The
We-
Bigfoot to
they-
the Brit? You don't know. You don't have
They don't
answers
know.
for me.
They
You don't
think
have specific.
maybe
They didn't tell
because-
you.
They think it's yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, I see you out there. Can you tell me why you break the branches and twist it? Why twist
First
it, damn it?
question. First question he asked. That was the most
What's
important.
with the forts also?
If you can tell me I have an apple. Okay, forget the apple jokes. Okay, we're done with that, okay?
Nope.
I'd say
Don't bring it
banana,
up
but they'd
again.
probably get mad. I'm not a ape. So we're going down, and I'm filming all these tree breaks. It's incredible. Like some of them were completely twisted, broken. And then we got to an area where there was tall grass. The grass was up to my waist, which doesn't mean much because I'm still pretty short. And so I'm walking, and then we came across all these trees that looked like they were pushed over. And there was maybe, I don't remember how, maybe 6 in a row. And they're all pretty big trees. And they were all pushed over, but the roots weren't showing. It's as if they were just molded over the trail. And like there was, we're walking and there's trees on either side of us. And all of a sudden, all these trees were like moved over, like pushed over. And we had to crawl through the trees to get over. And we got to the other side. Then we got to the very end. And we retrieved the recorder and we started walking back. And as we're walking, I would say maybe 10 minutes into walking back, as I'm walking, I'm like, do you see that? There's 2 tree breaks directly in the middle of the trail hanging. And I'm like, I don't remember this. And I go walking up, and you had almost no choice but to walk around it. It had just been broken and twisted.
Like
and you could
before-
see it was still wet. And it wasn't there because it was literally over top of the trail.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see it when we were going. I'm filming it and we're talking about it, there was a crack right behind us. And we jumped, and the guy I was with turned around, and he had a gun because there's other animals in the forest that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because we were seeing tracks of like wolves and cougar.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see any bear tracks though. And we turn around and we look, and he puts the gun back down, and then we start seeing eye shine at the very, like, must have been 100 feet away from us, maybe 120 feet. I don't know. I didn't take a measuring tape. I'm like, hold this. And I'm just going to walk over to this eye shine. Let's see how. And we're looking at this, and then a second one came out. And for some reason, I'm trying to film this, and it seemed like the creatures knew how to stand just outside of the infrared light.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So remember, I'm a skeptic, so I was like trying to figure out what I was seeing. And then Blake beside me was like, Jay, shh, do you hear that? And we could hear walking, cracking in the forest on either side of us. And I'm like, I'm not really freaking out. I'm like trying to say, okay, let's not run. Let's not run. He turns to me and goes, don't run. I said, don't worry, I'm not going to run. Where am I going to go? I'm in the middle of the forest. They're going to kill me. They're just going to kill me. There's nothing I can do. And then,
That's how I feel about camping
so
too.
all of a sudden the eyes closed, and then it either blinked or it turned and it walked off. We don't know exactly if because it just closed its eyes and we couldn't see it. Then we rushed up there, and right in the spot where we saw the eye shine, it was all open. Like there was a big gap in the forest. Now, the trees all around us were thick and really, really close together.
Mm-hmm.
For me to go through, I would have to squeeze through. But right in that spot, there was a big opening, maybe about six feet wide, just large enough for something. So then we walked back to the tree break, and we're looking at it, and I did this kind of, I want to say almost like a dance move where I pretended to take a step forward, and I turned really fast. Like I did a slide where I pretended to go this way, and I was talking on camera, and I turned. That's when I saw this dark shadow. It dropped to the ground, and I think there was a second one that was behind the tree too, and it kind of took a step back behind the tree, and I'm looking at it, and it just went right across the trail like a spider. And I remember the eyes. The eyes were like white, and it just stared at me the whole time, like it was on a gimbal.
Yeah.
Like it was like a stabilization. It just stared at me, and it took like boom, boom within the forest. So I'm looking at this going, is this a cougar? Like a wolf? Because I know when cougars want to attack, they'll bend down.
Mm-hmm.
They'll actually go down. And then it went into the forest, and then I'm still trying to figure out what I was seeing. And what I did see, still not saying it was a Bigfoot, because it was dark and I just could see the eyes, but I could see the outline of the feet, like the arm and the feet as it went across. And then what I didn't realize is I started talking on camera again and went to that area. And I didn't see this until like 2 months later when I was at home with the lights off editing, but it was standing behind me in the bushes, and you could see the eye as it was looking. And when I saw this when I was editing and I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I knew, okay, so there was something there.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just my imagination, because sometimes what happens is your adrenaline's going and your imagination takes control, and then you see what you want to see.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So, and so we went all the way back to camp after that, and we were sure that it was following us. But,
Now, is this in way northern, like Michigan?
Yeah, UP. It was in the
Okay.
UP of Michigan.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
I mean, it's wild. Anybody who spent any time like out in the wilderness whatsoever, especially at night. Like, you can just see stuff, you know, like you get an idea or a thought, or you hear something and you think that you heard
Yeah.
one particular thing, and it's wild.
Yeah, I remember out here in the forest. I was stupid. I went for a little hike. I was by myself and I had a camp, and I must have walked for like 25 feet, and I went off the trail into the forest. Then my light went off, my flashlight. I didn't bring any extra batteries, and my flashlight went dead. So I literally couldn't see in front of my face. So I sat down and put my back against a tree, and the trees here are huge. Like
Yeah.
the tree I was sitting behind with my back to was probably about 5 feet in diameter. But I just sat there like most of the night, waiting till the sun, the light, I can kind of see more. And I was just listening to like all the little critters walking around, and just, you know, my imagination's like, oh my gosh, I know it's a squirrel probably, but it sounds like a Bigfoot.
I
Right?
know they sound so loud.
I know. And that's why your imagination can make a little chipmunk, you know, sound like
Oh
a
my
giant
God.
elephant through the forest.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
so
it's
donkey.
yeah, there's other stuff that's happened. I love finding the giant tree structures, like the
Oh,
big
yeah.
X's.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's crazy too.
So I like finding the big ones, the ones that are so big, you know, 30 feet long, that are too big for even 5, you know, humans to actually pick up and place. Right? Those are the ones I like. I mean, I find so many small ones which don't make sense. Why they build these smaller tree structures, and you can see they're weaved, right?
Yeah.
But because
Yeah.
I didn't see what made it, I can't say it was made by Bigfoot.
Right.
But it was made by Bigfoot.
But we all know.
No, I mean, some of the tree structures, there must be like tiny Bigfoots, right?
Well, maybe
You
they're
know.
making
They have
doll
children.
houses for their
Thank
children.
you. You gotta still entertain the kids.
Crafts for
You're-
kids.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Crafts for kids.
Yeah, you guys would probably
It does.
find, which one is it? Was it, I think it was not 8. I think it was 7. I think 7 you'd enjoy because, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened in 7. And 6, I walked right up onto something that was standing 7 feet, and it hit the ground, and it went behind the bushes, and it just looked at me from behind, you know, behind trees. And I had a video camera, and I'm only 20 feet away, and I'm filming it with my 4K camera. So it was like, wow, it was it was crazy. I almost put myself down. I was like, oh my God, I'm trying not to, you know, crap myself as I'm filming this thing, doing this really ape-like thing.
Listen,
And
you're
so
in
when
the
you pop
forest in the
in-
middle of nowhere. Just crap yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? I mean, the animals do it. No one would know.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
would
Unless you
Bigfoot
tell
it?
everyone in a
Oh, yeah,
podcast.
Crapped a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm excited to watch the rest of them. I
Me too.
usually All right. So now I need to know that I need to get progressively smaller cups with Monsters Lounge written on them.
So I just finished editing Paranormal Adventures, the 3rd one. And I went.
Oh, you know what?
to-
I'd love to hear all about that. After
So I
this.
went and.
Wait, I said after this break.
Hang on. Take a
okay.
drink from your tiniest
Then I'll
cup.
pretend I'm just talking to myself.
Mhm.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night? Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic? Have you or your family ever seen a spook, spectre, or ghost? Then Haunted Magazine issue 41 might just be for you. In issue 41 we have The Enfield Haunting, an interview with Dave Schrader, Danny Robbins, and lots more. Out now in stores, app stores, and online at bit.ly/Haunted Magazine. Remember, don't be normal, be paranormal.
story. I was like, I'm like, hey, how would I be able to, contact this magazine? That looks like pretty cool. So I'm like this close, like, I was way too close.
I already
Listen.
forgot. Yes, please.
What did you?
Please get us back on the tracks, Jeni,
All right.
because I'm
So,
bad at that.
so first of all, I really liked the ones that I've watched so far. So I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the Searching for Sasquatch. And I like them a lot because it feels like we're coming with you as you're learning these things. And that's super rad in my mind because it just one builds on the next, right? And the more experiences you have, the cooler it is for me because it's like I'm learning along with you. But then you also have the paranormal ones,
Yeah.
which I didn't look at all. I know that there's a couple that you're working on right now. One I think that you're in post-production and like a couple for pre-production. But tell me about the paranormal ones.
Well, I just finished number 3, which is the Poplik monster
Mm-hmm.
with, the trestle bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And also kind of took a little stab at the Bigfoot that have been seen in that area too.
Okay.
Oh.
And then we went to the Story Inn. So I had teamed up with the Sasquatchers.
Yeah.
we
Can
went-
you do
we
like
went-
a vague overview of the Poplik monster? Just real quick.
Okay, so we went to see if we find evidence of the Poplik monster, and we had someone to tell us about the Poplik monster and the history behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the forest there, and basically we were just doing EVP stuff
Mm-hmm.
and getting interesting answers back. And then we went to the Story Inn, and we went looking for evidence of the blue lady that haunts the Story Inn, and that was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot. It was pretty exciting. Lots of adventure, and if you haven't noticed in my documentaries, I kind of like the adventures. I know the talking heads kind of moved the story, but I'm into the adventure of going into the forest,
Mm-hmm.
like actually go and to the areas.
That's the other reason that I really like them is because you're wandering through the woods, and that's one of my favorite things to do. And at some point, I'm going to drag Tressa along with me, not into the woods as I was originally going to say, because that sounds real murdery. But but someday I'm gonna
It
make
was
sure
nice
that
knowing
she
you, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You can send any condolences to
Yeah.
my son and father.
You know what? Stab marks might be in,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So,
hey,
They might
Halloween
be.
comes around.
Oh, it's fine. I'm gonna
Oh.
put you in a baby Bjorn and carry you into the
Oh,
woods, and we're gonna go
yay.
find blueberries.
I have
Promises?
seen a lot of strange orbs and lights in the forest,
I want to hear
which
it.
is interesting because I'll tell everyone, "Shut up! Can you see the light?" And everyone's like, "It's maybe it's someone with a flashlight." I'm like, "Okay, well, everyone quiet. Do you hear anything? No, that damn thing is moving through the forest." And then I take a couple steps and I sound like an elephant.
Uh-huh.
But yet, whatever's moving, like people think it's a flashlight. And I'm like, well, it's not flashlight, and it's blue. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green. We caught like a really cool, we're all sitting around, like the ATVs, and we're all sitting around this, just getting stuff ready to go. And we're just, just hanging out in UP of Michigan. And suddenly I look up and I see these two eyes pop up behind the ATV. And it went back down. And I jump up. I say, I saw some eyes, I think I saw some eyes. And so Blake was filming with his camera. And as he pans over, this bright light, almost looking like an eye, goes. Imagine this. You're panning the camera. And have you ever someone's trying to film you and suddenly you don't want to be caught? So you duck behind something. You're like, oh, I got
Yes,
caught. Then
all
you
the
come back
time.
out.
Yeah, every time.
Every
Exactly
time.
what it did. Exactly. The camera panned around, and it's as if it tried to duck behind a tree, but then it was like, oh, I got caught, and walks back out. That's exactly, and it was clear, and it
You
just,
got me.
I know. So I was.
it was
So it's
one
one of
eye,
us.
and it turned, like it did exactly that. Like, oh, I got caught, I came back out, and it
Oh my
just,
God.
it's not blurry. It is perfectly, like, it's just, and some people say it's a flashlight. I'm like, I want anyone out there to try and duplicate to try and do it with a flashlight, and I almost guarantee there's no way.
Yeah, it's two very
Because
separate
when you
things.
see it, it looks like it's on a gimbal. It looks like it's on a stabilization. Just
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna try to reenact this and try to show you that it was just Tressa or I with a flashlight. And so prepare yourself for some video
Done.
clips coming up
Yes.
pretty
you will
soon
be
of us
tagged.
being very quiet
I
in
can
the
just see it
woods.
now. I'm like, it's a Sasquatch. It's smell perfume. There's a perfume in the air.
Well, you can't smell bad.
There's
That's all I'm
Jeni
saying.
like behind the tree going.
Yeah. I hear giggling. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
I've
get those
caught
clips to you.
children. I've caught children talking in the forest, and I'm
What?
in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden I hear
No.
like children laughing
That is
for a second.
terrifying.
Yeah, I think that's more terrifying than like any sort of eyes
I've
or
also caught
spider-like creature.
singing, like humming.
That's also
I don't like
terrifying.
that
I don't like
either.
that. What were they
Mm-mm.
humming though?
No,
Can you
what's more
tell?
terrifying is me trying to
Camptown races?
sing it. That's terrifying. Well, that scared me. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah. I wonder, like, stuff like that makes me think that it's something trying to lure you in, and that is terrifying. No, thank
Well,
you.
yeah. That's like
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with the skinwalkers, man. They lure you in with making the baby noises.
And fairies, and I don't
All
know.
sorts of
Actually, I might
bad
do a
things.
documentary on the skinwalker.
Oh, yes, please do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be filming 4 Bigfoot documentaries. Actually, no, that's a lot. This summer, I'm going to be filming 4 Searching for Sasquatch documentaries, but one is going to be, it's going to be Dogman. So it's going to be
You know, I was going to
Sasquatch
ask when you were
dog.
talking about being in UP, Michigan, if you had diverted it all into the Dogman.
I've heard the stories, and I think I interviewed a couple people, but I'm going to do a flat out Dogman. I want to do the flying dinosaurs of New Mexico.
Oh, nice.
Do that, so that's something I want to do. I don't know about doing Loch Ness or doing Okopogo. I have a really small little documentary. It's about 15 minutes long on Okopogo and interviewing a psychic who had an up close look at what she says was Okopogo. And then I interviewed another person who said, like, 40 years ago, they're sitting on the beach in Okanagan, and the beach is crowded, and all of a sudden this beast just comes out of the water, like it looked like a giant brontosaurus without the legs, and it just came up and it just picked up the wharf and just thrashed it around, and everyone's screaming, and it's only maybe 100 feet from them, and they're watching this thing just come out of the Okanagan Lake. This giant just started trashing the pier.
Plesiosaur
This
got
is another
pissed.
lady who is a psychic and a medium, and also sees ghosts like everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
In fact, she's in my Paranormal Adventures, the second one. So yeah, it's I just like the mystery. That's why.
Heck
I love the
yeah.
mystery. I really want
yeah.
these creatures to be 100% real.
Yes.
When I first started into researching the lore of Bigfoot, I was maybe a 20% believer.
Oh, so you were barely a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't realize you were
I
that
mean, I
much
was
of a skeptic.
open-minded, right? And
Yeah.
after, 13 Searching for Sasquatch documentaries, interviewing eyewitnesses, going on tons of expeditions and seeing some of the crazy stuff, like trees ripped out of the ground, turned upside down, jammed into the ground, all the audio that I've caught. I am pretty much a 50% believer. And the reason why I'm
50%? What? Why only 50% with
because
all
I
that
haven't had a
footage?
daytime sighting. I need to have Sasquatch walk up to me, slap me in
Give
the
you a
face,
little
pick
kiss
me
on
up,
the
carry
cheek,
me off into the forest before I believe
feed you
100%.
berries.
Feed you
Mhm.
berries.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
My,
do think that that's an impressive growth for that period of time.
for
You
sure.
know, like in the belief system. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
right there with you. I want these things to be real so very badly, but I'm also going to be pretty skeptical about it, right? You know,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I'm
because you
gonna
kind of got to
second
be.
guess everything, but
Hmm.
I
But
also
yeah,
have not had any experiences like that.
right.
So come
Oh,
on.
it can be terrifying, let me tell you.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Searching for Sasquatch 5 is, the the Texas Screams. And there's a reason why it's called the, Texas Screams, because we were like surrounded by
yeah,
them, screaming and howling and just roaring and all around us, not for like 2 minutes, for like almost an hour,
yeah.
all
Yeah,
around
right
us.
there.
It was
Check, please.
crazy. And there was a bunch of us. So we were all, and the coyotes were howling too, which is
Hmm.
great. I was so excited about that
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I could tell the difference between the coyote howls
Mm-hmm.
compared to the other ones that were,
Yeah.
and some of the roars, you could feel it kind of vibrate through you.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, that's what they, and
The
that's one of the
infrasound.
things that they report that there's that infrasound and they're
Infrasound.
able to
And it
do
makes
that.
sense too, because a lot of animals do infrasound to shock their
Hmm.
prey.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of big cats will
Yeah.
scream at you as they're attacking from above. They'll
Have
just,
you have you had that experience when you've been taking photos of people's pets? Have you heard the
yes,
roars that
yes, I
hit
have. Yes,
you?
I have. And I I had a tiger actually growl, but it was a it was such a deep growl that standing next to them just vibrates through you.
Yeah.
Like it almost hurts your ears.
Yeah.
And an infrasound, you don't hear it, you feel
You
it,
feel it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So these Sasquatch, I interviewed a lady who said they were going hunting and literally it was dark. They just got out of the truck, literally just took a step out, grabbed the gun and took like 5 feet away from the truck. And they got screamed at like from just inside the tree line. That was only maybe 25 feet from them. She said it was so loud that she lost color. She lost
What?
color in her
Yeah.
eyes for a second, and the vibration almost made her throw up. Like she was dizzy and she panicked, and it scared her so bad that her husband jumped into the truck and almost drove off without her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a
That's gonna
terrifying
be
noise.
me,
Yeah.
and Jenny's gonna be outside the truck. Goodbye, Jenny. No thank
Yeah,
Exactly.
I got to hear howler monkeys like in
Oh,
January start to
yeah,
go, and like
that's
boy,
incredible.
you can hear them on the TV and stuff, and it's not nearly anything comparable. You feel it all.
Even elephants have
Hmm.
Oh
infrasound.
yeah.
Yeah,
Whales,
yeah,
right? I I have a feeling that the stellar jay uh, has some kind of, I don't know if it's actually infrasound,
yeah.
but I was observing stellar jays. They're the ones with the blue with the
Hmm.
black head that
Yeah,
have the crest on top,
Mhm.
yeah.
and they're about that big. I was sitting there kind of just watching them, and they would roar, so to speak, but they would roar as they were coming onto a bunch of little birds that were eating, and then they would
Oh,
scatter, and one of the birds would actually roll over because it would hit it, and then it would fly off, and then it would eat what they were eating.
yeah,
It was like, and I was watching this over and over again. I just kept thinking, it did the same kind of mannerisms as a lion or a big cat that goes after, to stun them, right?
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, until there's more research, like maybe there's more. I was just observing this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff that I've seen that's been pretty crazy. And
That's
even in
incredible.
Paranormal Adventures, I got EVPs of the. I would say, "Do you know what my name is?" And I would get a female voice that, Jason, like clear as day, and that would freak the heck out of me.
Yeah.
One time I said, "How did he die?" And it actually came back and said, "How did I die?" Just like
Mm.
that. It was like, wow, like
Ugh.
really
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's. Mm.
I'll ask the questions here, buddy. Oh, don't throw it back
Yeah,
at me.
exactly. Right.
Come on.
But
Rude.
even then, right? Unless I get picked up and thrown across the room, I mean,
Yeah, there's always going to be some sort of doubt about it, even though, yeah.
I have been shoved where it was hit
But
from
isn't
behind,
that just
flying
a
down.
form of being tossed across the room, like
No,
you
that
just
was me.
said?
That was yeah,
I was
from a
there.
distance. The
Jenny.
psychic power is just incredible.
Yeah. It was me
Oh my
behind the tree. It was me pushing you over. Sorry.
Doing that,
That's
Jenny.
what I do.
Rude.
Well, do you
I
want
know.
to see something that I did? I published a comic book.
Oh.
Yes, I
called-
had read about that.
It's called "Searching for Sasquatch: A Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley," and it has
Yeah, you've got a couple of books out that are all available.
Yeah,
Tell us where
I
to
have
find.
four.
Yeah, tell us where to find everything.
So you can buy this graphic novel. Actually, you can buy it on Amazon, Walmart.com.
You didn't say the name of it.
Barnes and
Say the
Noble.
name of it.
Oh, it's called "Searching for Sasquatch and the Hidden Treasure of Bigfoot Valley,"
Oh.
and that's the She Squatchers.
Oh,
Todd
I love
Parsons
that.
and David Dominique is there too. And so we're basically an elite Bigfoot research team that got dropped off by helicopter into the forest to go and investigate a dog that was taken
Okay.
by a Bigfoot creature. And they passed through a portal into a realm where there was pterodactyls, and they find treasure, all this gold. And I was all greedy and I want the treasure.
Yeah.
A certain medallion or some kind of a gold that gave the Bigfoot people their abilities of cloaking and strength and eyesight and all that stuff, and they were protecting it. And so we were fighting off the Bigfoots.
All
I
right.
won't tell you how we're able to fight off the Bigfoots, but there's a twist at the end, and I hope everyone can enjoy that. And then I did a children's book called Adventures with
Adorable.
Little JJ.
Yeah, that's really
This
cute.
is Rescue to Cryptid Island. So
Yeah.
the little female Bigfoot, she gets lost from her parents, and little
Oh.
JJ teams up with the little Indian girl and Loch Ness Monster and a little ghost, and that's Moth Boy. And
Naturally.
we take her back, and there's a big. We go on a adventure, and yeah.
Perfect.
go
So they can
into-
find most of your stuff on Amazon.
Yep.
And then what
And
about
this is
websites,
this is the
social
next one.
media?
And those are the She Squatchers.
Adorable.
And so little JJ uses his imagination to travel around the world, meeting new animal friends. And then I decided to do one on cryptids and Bigfoot.
I like
And
that.
if you just Google my name, Jason Kenzie, Animal Adventures or Bigfoot or Searching for Sasquatch, you'll find a whole bunch of videos of my animal adventures. You'll find all my Bigfoot documentaries. You'll find lots of news articles that I've done over the years. I've won close to 40 international film awards of Searching for Sasquatch. Here's sorry for getting so close to the thing, but there's one of the awards.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I was very honored, and I'm up for 3 more international awards that should hopefully that are coming from one from Germany and 3 of them from England.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
Good luck with that.
it's been a
Yeah,
journey
seriously.
for sure.
That's
I'm having a
amazing.
lot of fun.
I'll have as many links as I can find in the show notes if you don't know how to use Google. But we gotta wrap this up. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Paranormal 60 Network.
Do you want to
Let's-
show the roars? Minnesota roars?
We'll play that out after Tressa starts to say goodbye.
Yeah, I was almost done reading. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our merch on our website, monstersloungepodcast.com. Send us an email or comment. We love hearing from people. But check it out. I got merch on now. It's so good. Go buy some merch. I need money. Let's
right.
play those roars as we get out of here.
All right, here we go. In just 1 second.
So these were caught in Minnesota.
Oh.
This is where they go crazy. There must be 5 of them. You hear all of them? There's different ones.
Oh, I don't care for that.
The one in the
Ooh, I like that
background.
one.
I like that one the most.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care for any of that.
Should come out. We should do a Search for Sasquatch documentary. We should go on an expedition. You know.
I'm into it. Let's yeah, if you want to hang out for a second, we can talk about that and everybody else.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.